Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Now that school is back in session, Elmira students are easing back into their routines. Big Fox's Maggie Hall tells us what school leaders are doing to help the students transition to the new school year.
School started today in the Elmira School District. I'm currently outside of the Elmira High School, where, as you can see behind me, many parents are lining up to pick up their students. Parent pickup could be seen all across the school district this afternoon. The sign outside of TK Beecher Elementary welcomes back students to their first day today on September 6th. Today is a day many have been waiting for. One student declined to be on camera, but commented that she's happy to be back to school to see her friends, but she could do without all the work. The Elmira City School District took to Facebook and shared some of their students' excitements leading up to this day.
I'm excited for school because I can't wait to play school sports. Go Express!
School to begin again because I can't wait to see my friends every day, and I'm excited for school starts to begin. Woo, go Express!
I can't wait for school to start because I want to see Miss Spencer and my new teacher. Go to Express!
Big Fox sends a huge welcome back to all of the students and faculty that are headed back to school this September. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Elmira.
The victim of a train accident has been identified as a Breezeport man. The family of 38-year-old Raymond W. Johns III was able to identify him after the Chemung County Sheriff's Office shared photos and information about the victim on Facebook. John's body was found near the Lohman crossover in Wellsburg on September 3rd. John's body will undergo an autopsy to determine the cause of death. This year's New York State Fair is officially over. So how did this year's attendance compare to pre-pandemic fairs? Well, this was the first regular 13-day version of the fair since 2019. This year's fair had almost 500,000 fewer attendees than the fair in 2019. Attendance was higher this year, however, compared to last year's 18-day fair by about 100,000. A violation issued to the borough of Lawrenceville for plugging a bullet hole in their water system with a stick. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection issued the violation after calls for a repair on the hole were issued back in June. The department said that a stick from the tree was inserted into the bullet hole and sealed with an unknown epoxy or resin. The borough has until September 24th to come up with a plan to resolve the issue with the DEP. Football is back this week. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke to local restaurants to find out how football season impacts them.
Football fans across the country will flock to local bars and restaurants as they watch their team play every week. Many football fans in the Southern Tier will be rooting for the Buffalo Bills. This year, the Bills are the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Big Fox spoke with multiple restaurants about how football season impacts their business. Many of the restaurants declined to talk in person, but gave statements over the phone about the impact of the sport. Rounding Third in Elmira told Big Fox that they see a big change in the amount of people who come to the bar. They said it's a big boost, especially on Sundays, and when more people come in and spend money, it helps everyone on staff. R&M in Corning told Big Fox that football season doesn't impact them as much as it does for many other places. While they do see an increase in people on Mondays and Thursdays, being closed on Sundays limits the potential boost they would be able to get from fans of the sport. Bridges Bar and Grill in Corning are gearing up for football season in a new way. The owners told Big Fox that they are still planning on how they want to set up for football this year to capitalize as much as they can on the season. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Corning.
The Watkins Glen School District has announced that Jamie Coleman has been awarded with New York State School Resource Officer of the Year. The district's social media post says that Officer Coleman is a Watkins Glen alumni himself, a doctor, and an Army veteran. The district said that Officer Coleman is an example of someone who never does anything halfway. A surprise ruling over the long weekend handed Donald Trump a big win in the battle over sensitive documents at Mar-a-Lago. Suddenly, the government has to slow down its investigation. Griff Jenkins has the latest from Washington.
Federal Judge Eileen Cannon handed Donald Trump's legal team a big Labor Day victory. The judge on Monday granting the former president his request for a third-party legal expert to review documents taken by the FBI from his Florida home.
I don't think the president would have been granted the special master had the DOJ had all their I's dotted and T's crossed. Clearly, they took way too many documents.
This is basically special treatment for Donald Trump.
This is a blow to the Justice Department and puts their investigation on pause until those documents are reviewed. That review could take some time. After all, the FBI seized some 11,000 documents from Mar-a-Lago last month, including medical documents, correspondence related to taxes, and accounting information, according to the judge's order. The so-called special master, who has yet to be named, will have broad discretion to determine which documents are privileged. That includes executive privilege.
They've been merrily along conducting their investigation with the agents, assuming all these documents were appropriate for the investigation. Now the judge is saying, hold everything, he may have executive privilege.
The Justice Department is also responding, saying they are considering appropriate next steps, which could mean an appeal is coming. The DOJ and Trump's lawyers have until Friday to submit a list of potential special master candidates. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Gas prices are continuing to fall. According to AAA, Arkansas is now the second cheapest state when it comes to gas, only behind Texas. The average price at the pump in Arkansas is $3.25. That's nearly 40 cents cheaper than last month. In Craighead County, prices are even lower with an average of $3.11. And Greene County currently has the cheapest gas in Arkansas at an average of $3.
Canadian police gave a major update in the investigation into a series of deadly stabbings in Saskatchewan. Steve Rappaport has the latest.
Canadian authorities on Monday locating at least one suspect wanted in one of the deadliest attacks in the country's history after 31-year-old Damian Sanderson was found dead in a wooded area near where investigators were searching.
We can confirm he has visible injuries. These injuries are not believed to be self-inflicted at this point.
His brother, Miles Sanderson, is still at large. He's now facing 3 counts of first-degree murder. The two are believed to be behind a spree of stabbings that broke out Sunday in Saskatchewan across an Indigenous community and a nearby town. 10 people were killed and 18 others hurt. The incident putting people on edge in a country where mass casualty events are a rarity.
I'm terrified to go to sleep at night. I'm terrified to open my door. They took innocent people's lives. They shattered this community.
Authorities have not identified a motive, saying some of the victims appear to have been targeted, others attacked at random. The leader of the Canadian First Nations group believes the attacks could be drug-related. Prime Minister Trudeau on Monday offering the Canadian government's support to the grieving communities.
We'll be there for each other. Be there for our neighbors, lean on each other, help grieve and help heal. We will continue to do that, and all Canadians will be with you in this difficult time.
U.S. border officials are also on alert, working with Canadian authorities to ensure that Sanderson does not flee south. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Still ahead, we have your complete forecast. Plus,
the construction industry is getting a green makeover. I'm Jackie Abanez with a look at why some building developers are ditching steel and concrete. That's straight ahead.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, throughout our Monday forecast, heavy rainfall was pushing across portions of New York and into the East Coast, and we saw that across the area. Everybody saw a good dosing of rainfall, at least, with even some areas walking away with at least an inch to up to 2 inches, with Elmira and Corning just around ½ an inch of rainfall. So a good dosing of rain to push in. Now, we are still going to talk about adding to this rain. Now, Tuesday did stay on the gloomy side. Didn't see much more for additional precipitation. There was times of some passing heavier clouds, maybe shook out a few showers, but for the most part, what we're going to deal with as we step through the overnight is those temperatures holding into the 50s and those lower 60s, but those gloomy conditions will persist into our Wednesday forecast. Now, there might be some light showers expected as we'll watch the forecast almost on the back side of this system. We'll see a return of some of these lighter showers, so potentially another half an inch of rainfall at most is going to be possible. Closer to just a few tenths of an inch to a quarter of an inch will be expected. But then if you are looking for those brighter and warmer skies, those are expected to return not only for the area, but much of the state should be able to bring back in that sunshine on Thursday, with temperatures climbing back out of those 60s and 70s like the last few days, and maybe even a few 80s on board as we head towards the weekend. And when it comes to our next chance for rainfall, it looks to hold off until early portions of next week, so we should have a dry and pleasant weekend ahead. Now, rolling into the forecast here into the overnight, you see that we still have that moisture lingering, so may even see some showers for that morning bus stop forecast, and then see that those showers will linger throughout the day. Again, light rainfall at most, but still going to stay gloomy and rainy again. So rain gear will be needed. Again, maybe bring the kiddos to the bus stop, make sure that they get out to school on a dry note, and then we'll see again accumulation up to a half an inch possible, but closer to that tenth of an inch to about a quarter of an inch is looking more likely for across the area. But that's just going to already add to the surplus of rainfall now that we have due to that heavy rainfall that pushed on through on Monday. Now, trending into temperature wise though, with the gloomy conditions, not much improvement than what we've been seeing over the last few days. We've been seeing those 60s and those lower 70s. Again, that's likely. Now, do know that average for this time of the year is falling, and we're at about 78 for an average high temperature into Elmira for this time of the year. But we should be back towards that average as we head into our Thursday forecast. As statewide sunshine is back in store, just a few passing clouds, especially in the morning, will be in place. Now, as we'll hit those 70s on Thursday, we could expect to even potentially climb into the 80s as early as Friday, and we should keep that sunshine into the weekend forecast. Now, you're noting that we have some scattered showers. They're noted on Sunday. I think we'll hold off right now. Gonna keep the mention with a small chance, and we'll keep brighter skies with a high of 80 degrees, but we will see the return of those scattered showers, especially by Monday and Tuesday, where we will also watch those temperatures fall back below average.
Rising global temperatures and mounting greenhouse gas emissions are putting the planet on red alert, and it's causing the construction industry to take a greener approach to new projects. Jackie Ibanez has more on why architects are abandoning steel and concrete and why wood reigns supreme.
With the world facing a climate crisis, architects say the fight to curb greenhouse gas emissions is hitting close to home, literally.
The construction and operations of buildings accounts for between 36 and 40% of CO2 emissions globally.
That notion is ushering in a sustainable housing trend across the country, focusing on using renewable resources in place of steel and concrete.
Steel and concrete have a fairly large carbon footprint in terms of their production. They each account for about 10% of the carbon dioxide emissions globally. Wood, on the other hand, basically has zero or negative carbon footprint. The reason for this is because while trees grow, as you know, they sequester carbon during the photosynthesis process.
The initiative is on full display in the Big Apple, where this new condo unit, the Timber House, is living up to its name, with the building's structure made of composite wood beams called mass timber.
It has great performance and durability.
And because the wood is pleasant to look at, there's no need to waste extra materials like drywall to cover it up. But that's not all. The Timber House is packed with a slew of other sustainable elements.
It's super insulated. There's no gas anywhere in the building, no combustion. So everything is working on electricity.
One thing potentially standing in the way of more wooden structures dominating skylines across the country are fears over fire safety. But architects say the thickness of mass timber products help make them harder to burn.
U.S. consumers have a grim outlook about their finances and the state of the economy, and it's worse than how they felt during COVID lockdowns. A recent University of Michigan survey of consumer sentiment shows consumers feeling this pessimistic about their financial health is rare. In June, a survey of consumers reported a record low level of consumer sentiment, even when unemployment was at a record high of 14.7%. During the early stages of the pandemic, consumers had a more positive outlook. inflation is playing a major factor in those low numbers, and while there has been an uptick since June, it's still near the low points of the 2007 to 2009 recession. Some loan providers and consumer protection advocates are warning that the student loan forgiveness rollout could lead to some problems. Last month, President Biden announced many borrowers can get up to $10,000 forgiven, and Pell Grant recipients can get up to $20,000. Advocates and loan providers are concerned that the administration is taking on too much and will not have enough time to complete the process. They believe making millions of borrowers apply and get approved in just a 3-month period is too short. And they also warn the administration does not have the right structure to make sure the rollout is smooth. Still ahead, if you have a cell phone, the police could be using it to surveil you without a warrant. That story and much more coming up. A unique method of police surveillance is allowing officers to monitor people without a search warrant. Jackie Ibanez has a look at how some departments could be accessing location information through data from your cell phone.
Police departments across the country could be using your own cell phone against you.
It's sort of a mass surveillance program on a budget.
It starts with your phone's advertising ID number. Every cell phone is assigned a specific one. When using an app with the location services turned on, it allows businesses to send you tailored ads to products you might like based on your specific whereabouts.
Ad ID number will ping periodically. It gives off the number, the time, and the location in that ping.
For the indecisive, this type of advertising could help you make smarter purchases. But according to an investigation by the Associated Press, Virginia-based company Fog Data Science is able to use people's ad ID information to track where their mobile device has traveled.
You can see all of the locations that it's been.
And for about $7,500 a year, the AP says Fog Data Science is selling that info to the police, providing law enforcement with critical data about where people live, work, and visit, and letting them surveil individuals without a search warrant.
The Fourth Amendment is supposed to protect us from being spied on by the government.
Others argue this process keeps communities safer.
This program is kind of designed to develop suspects who the police aren't aware of or don't know about.
Privacy experts also warn this police loophole could be used in states where abortions are outlawed, letting officials see where abortions are being performed and track who is going to those facilities.
New worries from the airlines after a turbulent summer, and a greener way to get your morning coffee. Jerry Willis has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
The Bed Bath & Beyond CFO, who committed suicide in New York Friday, was facing accusations of artificially inflating the company's value in a pump-and-dump scheme. 52-year-old Gustavo Arnal was named in a class action lawsuit along with majority shareholder and GameStop chairman Ryan Cohen. Arnal's death came just 2 days after Bed Bath & Beyond announced it would close 150 stores and cut 20% of its workforce. As summer winds die down, airlines worry their pandemic recovery will take a hit. Experts say business travel usually picks up in the fall before the holidays, but several major airlines say its business travel sales are still well below 2019 levels. This matches a recent report by the Global Business Travel Association, which predicted corporate travel won't fully return until mid-2026. And a new effort to cut back on coffee waste. Swiss retailer Migros is rolling out coffee balls to replace coffee capsules. The new spherical design is fully compostable, unlike capsules which are made out of plastic and aluminum. According to Migros, its coffee balls are encased in thin, flavorless seaweed-based covers that can be thrown out after being used. The Coffee Bee system, which also features a special coffee maker, will roll out in Switzerland and France later this year.
Labor Day weekend air travel topped 2019 levels for the first time. The TSA reporting it screened 8.67 million air travelers over the 4-day holiday weekend. This is the first time it's exceeded the 8.24 million screened in 2019. Stay with us. We'll have more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. It seems that Dairy Queen is really falling into the autumn season. The company is rolling out its new Fall Blizzard menu, which comes complete with some new treats like the Cinnamon Roll Centers Blizzard. There's also the Reese's Take 5 Blizzard, which mixes Reese's peanut butter cups with pretzels and whole peanuts in a vanilla soft serve with caramel. And finally, the Snickers Brownie Blizzard, which is packed with Snickers bar pieces and brownie bits. And if that isn't all enough for you, the company is also releasing fall items that are not exactly edible, like its Blizzard-scented throw pillows, which come in 2 cents, cinnamon roll, and pumpkin pie. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you so much for watching.